Hello and welcome to Open Spaces. This is a visual novel about anxiety and agoraphobia, which you can tell that it says on the main menu under the title of the game there. So yeah, let's start the game. Okay, hidden far from the open spaces, buried deep within neat places, carved and cut out happy faces, I beg my soul to rest. Spaces is a visual novel intended to serve as an educational tool about anxiety and agoraphobia. Game focuses on community support and cognitive behavioral therapy as treatment methods for both of these disorders, although they are by no means the only treatment available to people with these disorders. Many others exist, including medication, support groups, dialectical behavior therapy, and many other techniques of treatment and management. While we intend this game to place symptoms in context and make them clearer, this game is not intended to diagnose or treat any psychological or mental disorder. It's not endorsed by the FDA or any other medical or psychological entity or association, subsequently should be treated as entertainment only. Thank you for playing Open Spaces. Select a name to explore their story. Who do we want to go with? I had to say, I really like your music. Very upbeat. Okay, let's start from the top, I guess. We'll go with Skylar. Skylar is a college student majoring in studio art. Non-binary and use they/them pronouns. Skylar suffers principally from agoraphobia and secondarily from anxiety. Okay, let's go to his main story, I guess. Skylar and Jade head to their university's campus together. So far, the conversation has mostly been one-sided, with Skylar looking down at the pavement, struggling to come up with better responses than a nod or nah. After a few minutes of walking, Jade breaks into a conversation more difficult than usual. So, you still interested in going to the campus social night event downtown tonight? Skylar hesitates, not making eye contact with her. Maybe. Jade winks. Last time you told me you'd go next time. Skylar and Jade's relationship is friendly, but shaky. Since their freshman year started, Skylar shut themselves off from developing any sort of new friendship. New people, new places, constant change, every thought makes them panic. Jade, after meeting Skylar in class, would often try to coax Skylar out of their bubble. Skylar would resist any pressure to get involved in social scenarios. They did allow Jade to push them into social settings. The air would be choking and painful, the head reeling, eyes blurry with tears. Sometimes Skylar would find their body was shaking, even at thought of being in a new situation, without any sort of control. The feelings come up for Skylar again, but they also feel Jade is trying to encourage them, similar to many of their closest family and friends. In terms of the campus social night, alright, as long as you stick with me. Jade smiles at them. Sweet, I'll take it. Meet you at your dorm tonight. Fish night is just a few hours away. Skylar cringes at the thought. Why did you say yes? Skylar sits in their bed, panic swallows as they think of every possible scenario that could go wrong. Breathe, breathe. I'll say something stupid. Breathe, breathe. Maybe I should text Jade and cancel. Phone suddenly rings. Skylar hastily grabs it and answers it. It's Jade or cancel. It's not. Hi, honey. How's your week been? Skylar masked in panic. Indicating panic to their mother would often prompt her to give them unhelpful advice, but she would provide it nonetheless. But maybe she would have some good input this time. Not bad. Made a couple of friends, and I've been spending some time with them. That's amazing. See? Who was so worried about that? Do you have any plans for the weekend? Friend Jade is going to the campus social night, and I might go with her. See? We'll have more friends in no time. Such good news. Yeah, I'll be fine. It's probably best just to lie to her. Yeah, I should be fine. Don't have anything to worry about. Exactly. You'll have a great time. Definitely let me know how it goes. Will do, Mum. Skylar hangs up the phone, drops onto the bed and draws a deep, shuddery breath. The room is crowded. Others are chatting amongst themselves, but Skylar can't help but think that all eyes are on him. Skylar spots the snack table and decides to get something to eat and drink. That way they can insinuate themselves into a spot where they can be out of the way and keep an eye on the rest of the room. They look around, finding any eye contact as they pile snacks on their plate. Jay tries to wave them down to come over. Skylar pretends to be completely absorbed in making up the perfect snack plate. Skylar jumps slightly as they feel a gentle hand on their shoulder. Hey, glad you can make it. Quinn smiles at Skylar. They are kind and warm. Skylar has always been comforted by Quinn. They tend to have a good sense of reading when someone is having a hard time. Skylar notices Skylar staring at the plate, slightly shaking. You alright there? Do you need anything? Yeah, I'm uncomfortable. Not too comfortable in crowds. Do you want to step outside for a bit? Get some air? Skylar nods. Come on, let's go sit down. Quinn leads Skylar away from the party and out onto the deck, where furniture is placed for the students to relax and chat. A few other people are here, but not many. Skylar and Quinn find a fairly quiet corner of the deck and settle into some chairs. It's awfully loud in there, huh? Skylar smiles a little and nods. Quinn also manages to give Skylar a sense of comfort. Maybe that Quinn is one of the few non-binary persons they know, but their presence is also comforting. They are not intrusive or nosy. Rarely is Skylar able to open up, and it's usually with Quinn. I feel like Jade doesn't listen to me when I tell her I don't like big events like this. We'd like to hang out in smaller groups, but she says she gets bored. I really worked out how to keep her engaged and myself calm at the same time, you know? Quinn nods understandingly and just listens. Parents always wanted me to be more social, get out of the house. I was diagnosed with severe anxiety when I was pretty young. It's always one thing or another. Mum, she has a set idea of who I should be and just tries to keep that up. Easier to be away from home, but I just feel more alone. I'm not sure I like that or not. Well, while I think it's healthy to be around people, you shouldn't do it if it upsets you. Then you could overcome it with small steps. Have a chance to grow a bit now that you're on your own. But give yourself plenty of time and support. We'll talk for a few hours as the party keeps going on behind them. Skylar eventually sees Jade head home on her own, with a slight nod of acknowledgement towards Skylar, giving past a sense of disappointment. Skylar looks down at their feet. Quinn eventually escorts them home. It can help the loved one manage anxiety by learning about the disorder, encouraging treatment, listening carefully, compassionately when asking for help. Day after the campus social, Skylar approaches Jade's front door. She commutes on the house she grew up in, but Skylar would only ever go there to meet up to go out somewhere. Never have they spent time at her house. Jade wasn't expecting their visit, but Skylar felt she was due an apology for leaving the party last night. A knock on the door. A quick shuffling sound behind the peephole, followed by a door opening. Jade is in her pajamas, eyes puffy, hand trying to discreetly hold a tissue. Has she been crying? Hey, are you doing okay? I'm fine. What's up? She forces a smile and Scarlet clears her throat. Or their throat, sorry. I wanted to apologize for leaving you at the party last night. I should have been honest with you. I said that I didn't want to go in the first place. Thank you. It's okay. I had other friends there. Is that why you're crying? Because of last night? Give me like 5 minutes. I want to get out of here. Jay closes the door and shuffles back into the house. After about 10 minutes, she opens the door again to reveal a cleaned up version of herself. Clean clothes, clean face, bag in hand and ready to roll. Let's go to the park. It is very pretty. Skylar and Jade find a bench in the park on campus to sit at. Jade sits down and takes a deep breath. Why were you crying? Jade looks surprised that Skylar asked her that. Opens and closes her mouth several times before responding. I got into a fight with my mom. We fight a lot, honestly. Just trying to keep my head down and finish with university so I can move out and get a job. Skylar nods, frowning sympathetically. Sorry, is that why you're not home very much? Yeah, I spend as much time as I can on campus. Basically, I only go home to sleep and shower. Jade laughs a little. I don't know why I'm telling you this. I mean, I'm your friend, aren't I? Jade smiles a little at that. Yeah, you are. Takes a breath. It's okay that you didn't want to hang out with my other friends last night. Just frustrating when a cool person I know doesn't want to try and get to know other cool people I know. You know? She snickers at herself at the repetitive nose. Like I'm trying. Just having a real hard time with stuff. I'm trying. I know, it's just... Hey, you two. Sky and Jade notice Quinn walking up from the path. Quinn approaches and they notice the awkward tension. How are you doing? Jade stands up, trying to discreetly wipe a tear from her face. Wish I knew how to help you. It's not easy being alone. Seeing Quinn, she tries to hold back tears. Maybe you'll be a better friend than I can be. Before either of them could respond, she gets off the bench, grabs her backpack and heads towards campus. Skylar's heart starts to beat faster. Disappointed another one. Can anyone ever possibly be your friend? Heart starts to beat. Tears start to well up. Everyone hates me. All I do is hurt people. Have no control. Skylar? You alright? Skylar shakes her head out of the daze and sees Quinn utterly concerned. Absentmindedly wipe away the tears that fall on her face. You really don't look good. Have you thought of getting help about this? Yeah, I don't know. Would that even help? Personally, therapy has helped me a lot, but it wasn't easy. Yeah, trying to get into recovery and just help in general for any type of mental disorder isn't easy, but for the most part it is worth it. I had to go through a few therapists before I found the right one. And the ones that I felt failed me just made me continuously feel worse and worse. Even if the first one doesn't work, I think you're still taking a step in the right direction. Yeah, I need help. That might be a good idea. Here, I'll give you the name of my therapist. Definitely recommend him. Scully walks into Dr. Omiya's office. It is neat and bright, so slightly a freshly printed paper. Initially he's sitting at his desk, sorting papers, but when he notices Skylar walking in, escorted by the receptionist, he stands up. Come in, come in. Two soft chairs sit across from each other. Dr. Omnia takes a seat. Skylar sits across from him. Skylar, yes? Am I pronouncing that right? Yes. I'm Dr. Omnia. It's nice to meet you. Skylar smiles. It's nice to meet you too. So, I know this is your first experience with a therapist as an adult. How are you feeling right now? Yeah, nervous. Kinda scared, honestly. Worried I won't be able to get this thing under control, or that therapy won't work. Completely normal. We can start easy this session, and we'll only get into deeper conversation as you deem necessary. You can control the conversation. I am only a guide. If a topic gets too uncomfortable, we can switch. You can also try to focus on the root of the problem, if you so choose. Scarlet nods and smiles. Okay. I know you deal with anxiety, but I want to hone in on specifics. What kind of symptoms have you been experiencing? Feelings of suffocating sense of panic builds within Skylar. I feel when I'm around people, I can't stop thinking about how bad my actions are and how I'll screw up. I start feeling chest pain and it's hard to breathe. I get hot and sweaty. All I want to do is go back to my room and never leave. Told me you were diagnosed with severe anxiety as a child. I think that diagnosis holds true. I also think you are suffering from agoraphobia, but regardless, it is definitely treatable. I worry so much that I'm just a hopeless lost cause. No one is a lost cause. Mental illness is not what defines a person. It's something a person lives with. Almost like a very, very strict and horrible roommate. One that you can't entirely get rid of. Just gotta learn to live with it. Everyone, including you, is capable of managing the symptoms and overcoming. It may take some time, but you being here is already a step to getting better. It may seem tough to believe in yourself right now. I definitely believe you can get through this. Skylar nods, letting out a shaky breath. I'm going to encourage you to be open and honest about your feelings. But know that it can take time, even a long time, for a patient to fully trust their therapist. Skylar looks up. I mean, I don't have to tell you everything right away. Certainly not. Would you tell a classmate you just met all your deepest secrets? Skylar laughs a little at that. No. Therapy is never a quick fix. It's important to continue to take steps, even if they are small. But just being here is a step. There are always going to be days when you struggle. Those days never last forever. Doesn't matter how much or little you tell me when we meet, every step you take is a step I can take with you to managing your symptoms, reducing their impact on your life. Skylar smiles. I want that. I want to be normal. Not sure there is any such thing, really. But we can work together on learning management skills when you're in situations that cause those feelings. Didn't mean to skip through that. Important to not avoid these situations outright, but it is also important to not overwhelm yourself. Ease yourself into it. Keep trusting your support system close. Most importantly, take care of yourself. From healthy foods to proper sleep, there are many ways to manage your anxiety. Skylar nods. They talk a bit longer, and Dr. Omnia makes a few recommendations on how they can manage their symptoms, such as self-care practices, deep breathing, engaging with small groups rather than big crowds to help them manage social situations. Skylar leaves Dr. Omnia's office feeling a little tired, a little more hopeful. 3 months go by. One day, near the end of the semester, Skylar is in their dorm. Phone rings. It's Quinn. Hey, how you doing? My birthday party Saturday if you're interested in coming. Okay if you can't, I'll understand. I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there. What time? Won't release details on the party. Don't worry about a gift, just bring me your company. We'll be doing some cooking together too. Just said she'd bring the cake. That's really nice. I'll see you soon. Sally rolls around and Scarlet finds herself in a familiar, though still somewhat dreadful predicament. When they arrive at Quinn's dorm, Quinn greets them with a smile. Hey Scarlet, really glad you made it. I know it must be tough. I think Jade is somewhere, if you wanted to say hi. Scarlet searches the crowd and spots Jade. Jade notices and gives an excited wave. Seems to have had a few drinks. Hey Jade, you having a good time? Hell yeah. Here to have some fun too? Here, let me get you a drink. She speaks somewhat loudly and runs to get Scarlet's drink before they can protest. Drink up. Scarlet stares at the swirly pink foam mix in the cup. It smells fruity. Jade, I don't really drink. What? Come on, it would relax you so much. Scarlet's body tenses painfully, and they freeze up. Jade's persistence is upsetting to them. They open their mouth to speak. Yeah, I don't want to. No, you stop forcing me to do things I don't want to do. Jade looks hurt by this. In a drunken state, she responds with anger. Excuse me? I'm trying to help you. You need to loosen up and chill. No, Jade. You constantly think you're doing good, but you're not. You always pretend you're doing the right thing, but you're just not. Just leave me alone. Girl turns away, out of breath. Faces the crowd once more. This time people are staring. Fear takes over again. It's hard to breathe. It's painful. Scarlet runs out of the room. Turning around the corner into the hallway, Gwen appears. See the tears streaming down Skylar's face, and they're unsure how to react. Skylar, you okay? Sorry, Quinn. When's your birthday? I have to leave. Not giving Quinn a chance to speak, Scarlet speeds past with tears streaming down their face. Scarlet leaves the house, the cold outside air not easing the tension, sweat on their face. Head home. Can handle no more. At the party, Scarlet stopped speaking to Jade, even avoided Quinn. It would avoid Jade in class. When they didn't make eye contact, Scarlet could see sadness in her eyes. Quinn would try to call, but Scarlet would never pick up. Eventually, the calls were less frequent. The invites eventually stopped coming in. What little contact Scarlet had with others, it would mostly be with their parents. And the strain on their relationship with their parents did not make it any easier to cope with. Eventually, Scarlet made the decision to transfer the commute from their home. They would only leave the house for class, and that was difficult. Lost all contact with friends from their previous university, and often felt isolated and afraid. Anxiety and agoraphobia is a battle many deal with every day, a sharp pain that ties in deeply with depression. It's always important to reach out and find support whenever you need it. Remember, you're not alone. You can do this. We can trace their story again if we wanted to. Maybe make some different changes, but we'll try again later, I guess. Okay, let's go on to Walter's story. Walter is an older African-American male. Dresses simply, but does his absolute best to stay clean and tidy despite being unhoused. He is quiet and thoughtful, and listens more than he speaks. When he speaks, he has plenty to say. Walter and Davis are exiting the city library. Both men are highly fond of reading. Sometimes they attend group discussions or classes there together. Today, however, they are both carrying cotton reusable bags laden with books. While Davis is younger than Walter, they have formed an intense bond. Books of classic and contemporary poetry fill Walter's library bag, mostly by African-American authors. Hey, you have an appointment with Pamela today, don't you? Walter nods. Want me to take you over? Walter smiles, nodding. Davis grins. Come on, let's go. Get into Davis's car. Walter still wears a bit of a smile on his face. who was extraordinarily proud of his friend. The two met several years when adverse circumstances landed them in the same shelter in Chicago's near west side. Walter was both a mentor and protector to Davis, who was absolutely terrified about his circumstances, but sometimes bullied by the other residents. Now they're inseparable friends, and help one another as best they can. Davis starts up the car. Man, wish you'd let your friend. Let her find you some housing. What, don't you want to leave the camp? You know why. Davis found housing. Walter chose to lead the shelter and put his survival skills to work. He established a camp in the Labarge ward of Chicago. Because he was so quiet and unobtrusive, police rarely bothered him. The government program provided him with a phone to keep in regular contact with the outside world. Aside from that, he has no real foothold in the civilization around him. If you want to have some kind of life, what kind of future can you have living in the woods, man? Walter sighs and Davis backs off. No, sorry, I'm just worrying about you. You're my best friend, you know. Walter smiles. I'm glad we're friends. Walter stares out at the passing asphalt. Davis waits, his eyes on the road, occasionally darting over his friend. Knows Walter's moods very well. You know, don't know what I want anymore. Just want to be safe. Easy to be safe out in the woods. People aren't safe. Maybe you should talk to someone about that, huh? Walter makes a brief sound and looks out the window, contemplating Davis's words. Walter and Pamela sit across from each other in two cushy chairs in her office. Pamela scratches words in a leather-bound notebook that sits on her lap. Starts speaking without looking up. Walter, I've got to talk about something with you. Like what? Pamela looks up. Go talk about why you don't want to transition into housing. Walter says nothing. Walter, look at me for a sec. Walter looks at her, his downward face tense and serious, his posture slouched. Hates having this discussion, because it always comes to the same conclusion. You can talk to me. Being a caseworker for so long, you can trust me. What's got you so scared? Walter leans forward, places his elbows on his knees and his face on his hands. I just can't trust anyone, Pammy. People are so damn hurtful. Afraid of being around them. Not me. Not Davis. You're different. How do you know other people aren't different? Not normal to be so afraid. Wait. Oh, Walt? You have to know that. Walter sighs deeply and leans back in his chair. I know how to stop being afraid. Every time I'm around the city, I get anxious. Out there, I know what I'm doing, you know. You ain't always lived like this. You know how to live around other people. Gotta figure out how to stop being afraid, Walter. Pamela leans towards him. Just want you to have a happy life, Walter. I want you to have friends, a job. Hell, I want to see you go out and take a gal on a date. Walter laughs merrily at that. Pamela laughs as well. Pamela leans back in her seat. Are you willing to see someone about this? I'll think about it. Okay. Giving you the contact information of Dr. Omnia. Specializes in anxiety treatment. Combat vet. He is ex-military. US Marine Corps. He lost his leg in Afghanistan. Wears a prosthetic. Damn good at his job. Interesting. Client produces a business card and gives it to Walter. Takes it. Gives it a glance before stowing it away in his shirt pocket. Give him a call. No, he'll take you on as a patient. I already talked to him about the insurance coverage, and the agency can make out the difference with a special program they have. Okay. Thanks, Mammy. Think about it, Walter. Really. A lot of folks around here are rooting for you. Walter gives a brief smile at that. Tipping Pamela a casual salute, he gets up to leave, shouldering his bag and satchel, and trudges out, very deep in his own thoughts. Pamela watches him go before turning back to her desk with a sigh and resuming her paperwork. Walter is at his camp. Camp is small but tidy. A small tent pitched and a tree dug downward of it. Water bucket nearly full sits near the latrine. Walter's canvas knapsack sits at the entrance of the tent. It's near sunset. A small but merrily crackling fire burns in a stone ringed fireplace. He's got a pretty nice setup going here. Sits on an upright log section, stirring something in a pot over the fire. He ain't never gonna be normal again. Well, covers his face, putting the spoon down. A voice into his mind, it's hard to shake off. You can't trust anyone. They all know how to hurt you. Know how to hurt everyone. You've seen it. You know. Walter rises to his feet, facing around the fire. Whatever he is cooking begins to burn. No, just stop it. Properly stops pacing, smelling burning dish in the fireplace. Shit. Frees the pot from the fireplace and peers into it. Once again, he carries it to the tree and scraps the mess into it, before returning to his seat on the log. Yeah, I need help. Maybe I should call that Dr. Omnia Pammy was talking about. Walter makes no move to make something else to eat. He stares into the fireplace, contemplating his thoughts, until finally, as it begins to grow to full dark, he puts the fire out and retires to his tent, taking his knapsack with him. Managing mental illness really requires community involvement. Coming from our management of any illness needs supports. And mental illness is no exception. Walter enters Dr. Omnia's office. I didn't even notice that this guy had a prosthetic leg. I mean, the text box was kind of covering it, so. It's calm and tastefully furnished, with several plants and art prints decorating it. Walter checks in with the receptionist, but does not sit at her invitation, opting instead to stand against the wall opposite the front door. Eventually, Dr. Omnia calls him in, leading him down a short corridor to his rather spacious office. Decorated similarly to the reception area, with solid wood furniture and a sky blue carpet. The curtains on the window open to the sunny day outside. Would you like to sit down? Walter looks around the office, and the several chairs circled around the small wooden coffee table. Chooses the one with his back to the wall, pointing his hands in his lap and looking curiously at Dr. Omnia. Got a little bit of info from your caseworker. What are you to tell me about yourself? Anything you want me to know, really? What kind of info? That you're struggling with your mental health, and she's worried. Not going to force you to talk to me, though. Just here to try and help. Dr. Omnia crosses his legs, lounging on his chair a bit. Picks up a pen and writes in his notepad. Never did understand that. What? My psychs always write things down. Not all professionals, you mean? Yeah. It's just like when you go for a checkup. They take notes on what you tell them. Helps me do a better job of helping you when you're here. Because if I don't remember everything you tell me, I can't make suggestions that make sense. Walter considers this and nods. It doesn't bother you, does it? No, it's fine. Dr. Omnia smiles briefly. So, what should I know about you? Start wherever makes sense. Paul looks at him for another long moment. Dr. Omnia does not shrink or fidget under his gaze, just looks placidly back at him. Something in his face tells Ward that he can talk to him. Let's go all in. Let's get started at the beginning. Okay. Ward tells him about the farm he grew up on, later owned. By the time he finished high school, his mother had passed away. His father relied on him to take care of his two younger siblings. When he was in his junior year of college, his father passed too, having fallen victim to his alcoholism. Walter made the best of it. Not only graduated with a degree in agriculture science, but saw both his siblings off to college as well. In his mid-20s, he met Dolores. Within a few years, they were married. By his experiences, both within his family and in the broader world, when someone sees the doubts, anxiety, and despair, his marriage suffered. Eventually, Dolores left him. As Walter grew sicker, he became unable to work, eventually losing the farm and drifting into the nearby city of Chicago. And that's where we are now. Walter sits with his hands clasped in front of him, looking down. Do you have any children? No, Dolores wanted them, but I was afraid that what happened to me and my little brother and sister would happen to them too. Why? I don't know. Am I supposed to know? I hope that you will eventually. The whys help us translate the hows of treatment. That makes sense. Do you think either of your parents might have suffered from a mental illness or disorder? Walter considers the question. It's hard to say. I seemed a little anxious, I suppose, but I think that's most of us, really. Being black in America has always been bound to make you anxious. Father drank a lot. Didn't hit us or mum or nothing, but now that you mention, maybe he did. I remember reading somewhere that there's a strong correlation between mental illness and substance abuse. Dr. Omnia nods. Did his drinking impact you? Walter nods. Do you want to tell me more about it? Walter looks at him, lowers his eyes, and casts his gaze out the window for a moment. I don't want to today. Dr. Omnia nods again. We can talk about it when you're ready. Do you have any personal interests, friends, pursuits? You mentioned a degree in agricultural science. Did you enjoy your studies? Will tells him about Davis and their shared interest in reading and academic pursuits. Talks a bit about his time in college and tells Dr. Omnia that of all the things about the farm he missed the cows the most. Both laugh a little at this. I'd like you to come back and see me again. Good with you? Will sighs a little and it's a sigh of relief, not aggravation. Sure. Great. If it's alright with you, I'd like to see you on a weekly basis. Can't promise it will always be at the same time, but talk with the receptionist on your way out to schedule your next few appointments. Walter rises to his feet, as does the doctor. Walter extends his hand. Dr. Omnia takes it and shakes it firmly. Thanks, Doc. None needed. Take care of yourself, Walter. Walter enters a large church for the evening meal that they served there. Unexpectedly, he sees Davis, waves to his friend. Davis walks up and hugs him. What you doing here? Just wanted to catch up on home folks. You doing okay? I'm alright. Great, let's get some food. Walter and Davis get in line together. A few of the other attendants greet them both, all smiles and handshakes. Walter smiles a little to himself. What are you thinking about? Walter smiles at his friend. Food listens to the whole heartache. Davis grins. Too true. Young person from university. Quinn is serving at the front when Walter and Davis stroll up. Oh, hi Quinn. Was I expecting that much of a crossover? Hey Quinn, how you doing? Quinn looks up and excitedly grins. Walter, Davis, how are you both? Doing good. You okay these days, Walter? Quinn is one of the few people with whom Walter has discussed his past. They were easy to talk to as well as kind. Walter feels at ease with few people besides Davis and Pamela. Still, Quinn has a kind of safety about them that Walter feels at ease with, when they know a fair bit of Walter's story and current circumstances. Been doing a lot of thinking. The good kind, I hope. Mostly. Good. Let's chat later on if you have a few, yeah? You got it, kid. Quinn has them both praised and has them over with a smile. Enjoy your meal, gentlemen. Man's nodding and smiling. Pair moved towards the tables to take a seat. How did your appointment with Pamela go? Yeah, it went alright. What'd she say? Wanted me to see a therapist. And I went. You're awfully nosy today, Davis. David laughs. You're best friends, of course I'm nosy. Did you make an appointment? I did, and I went. How'd it go? Paul looks thoughtfully at his fork. I'm not sure. Guess we'll have to see. I think it went well, though. Good. Two friends passed me on in companionable silence till Quinn approaches. Hey, you two. Quinn carries their own tray and joins them at the table. I don't know why you bother eating with us plebs every night, Quinn. Quinn laughs. You should talk about yourselves that way. We shouldn't talk about yourselves that way. Getting to know the folks around here helps me stay connected. How's school, kid? It's going well. Graduate next year. Quinn grins a little bashfully. That's great. I'm really happy to hear that. You have a degree in agricultural science, right, Walt? Walter nods. There was a guy who came in to talk to us the other day about tech and agriculture. Mentioned his company was looking for someone who spoke at least one language besides English, had a degree in agriculture or related field. Thought he'd right away, so I asked him for a card. Quinn looks at Walter a little uncomfortably. Hope you don't mind I did that. Davis is watching the exchange with his eyebrows slightly raised. No, I don't mind. Do you have the card? Quinn reaches into their jumper pocket and hands it to him. Walter looks it over. Thanks, Quinn. No problem. Davis escorts Walter back to his camp. Walter kindles a fire. It's full dark, but the men take their ears up by the campfire. They've been out here in a while. Cops bother you still? Not anymore. Pretty surprising. I'd say. That's good though. Walter nods, stretching his legs. Got a call about that job. Walter pauses for a long moment, thinking over the question. Thinks about what it means to have a job again. To be earning a regular paycheck. And the idea of putting his skills to work again. Then, all at once, he also calls the ground in on him. How is he going to get clothes fit for an interview anywhere? How is he going to get a resume done? How? Brain howls with it. Can't do it. You can't. You just can't. What are you thinking? You with a fancy office job after all these years? Can't be serious. Walter holds his hands in his head in his hands. Breathe. Breathe. Just give up. Breathe. Breathe. Davis reaches out and grasps his friend's shoulder. You can do this, Walt. I know you can. Walt looks up and sees the friendly face of his best friend looking at him with concern. Fills him with a sudden strength. Yeah. Really like to. The idea of having a job again is nice. I'll give it a try. Davis whoops out loud and laughs happily. That's great. Let me help you get ready, huh? We'll go grab you some interview clothes, and I'll help you with your resume and everything. Really? You'd do that? Listen, man, I want to visit you in an apartment, not a camp. I want you to have the life you want. I notice it ain't this. Works thoughtfully. You're right. Davis smiles happily. Meet me at the library tomorrow and we'll get it going. Just make sure you call, okay? I will. Davis eventually heads home, leaving Walter looking into the fire, lost in thought. Walter gets up the next morning and looks thoughtfully at his phone. Okay, might as well just rip the band-aid off and make the call. You can do this. Gotta start somewhere. Walter calls the number on the business card that Quinn gave him. The voice of a young man answers. Hello, this is Lee Wee. Hey Lee Wee, my name is Walter Williams. Okay, I think Lee is also one of the other characters we can play as too. Heard that your company was looking for someone multilingual with a background in agriculture? Yes, we are. And that's what your specializations are. Well, explains that he has a degree in agricultural science and speaks not only English but Spanish and Mandarin Chinese. He switches to Mandarin and Walter converses with him in the same tongue for several minutes about the company, a few notable things about the job. I'd like to meet you. Are you available this Friday at any point? I certainly am. Is 10 AM alright? Perfectly. He relays location information and the two say goodbye and hang up. Walter sets his phone down and grins, too pleased, for once, to allow the spectre in his head any room. Walter enters the front of the lobby of the agriculture office in a few minutes prior to his interview, and he dressed in khaki slacks, a white shirt, and a red tie, courtesy of Davis having taken him shopping for interview clothes. Carries his customary canvas backpack, having had it washed and dried the night before the interview at Davis's house, and copies of his resume. In a circumstance, he stayed over at Davis's place so he could take a shower and shave before going into the interview. Davis had driven him before heading to his own workplace for the day. Sessions greets him and Walter smiles a little nervously. I have a 10 o'clock appointment with Lee Wee. Of course, I'll show you to his office. Sessions leads him down a short corridor of the medium-sized office suite. He knocks on a door. A voice from within answers. Sessions opens it. 10 AM is here. Lee Wee rises to his feet with a smile. Walter, please come in. Walter spends the following hour interviewing with Lee Wee. Learns about the mission of the company and the job you would like to be doing. Specifically, you would like to be traveling to different farms and agriculture sites, find out what their needs were and assisting Lee Wee to formulate technological plans for each site to improve crop and food production. Trust you don't mind getting dirty. Walter laughs. Spending a lot of my time after college up to my knees in mud, planting crops and milking cows. Tell me about your time as a farmer. Walter hesitates briefly, but tells him about the work he did on his own farm. I was always interested in finding technological solutions that could make my work easier. By the end, I had started up a hydroponics and other automation process. That's great. It's a big part of what we need to build. He looks thoughtfully at Walter for a moment. I'd like to offer you the job, Walter. How soon can you begin? Walter grins. As soon as you'll have me. A few things I need to do on my end to get you set up for traveling. We can start training on site on Monday? Walter hesitates again, but nods. Great, I'll see you soon. Do get to their feet and shake hands. Oh, I almost forgot. Sign-on bonus included with your position, so I'll have that ready for you when you start training on Monday. Order smiles. That's great, thank you. Paul prepares for his new job with Davis's help, thrives in his new duties. But he continues to struggle with his anxiety, keeps working towards recovery and daily management of his symptoms by a variety of means. He sees him quiet in his own apartment. Davis frequently visits him there. Makes new friends, albeit casually or cautiously, but by continuing to make good decisions that help him stray on the path to wellness, he's able to overcome anxiety's crippling effects. Don't give up. Wellness and management are possible. Thank you for playing. Aww. But we still got a few more other stories to go through. Okay, let's go for Jessica next. Jessica is a trans woman and a parent who struggles with anxiety and agoraphobia, complicated by ongoing custody dispute with her former partner. She works to be a good mother to her daughter. It's 6:30 in the morning. Any sounds to be heard are the ticking of the clock and the occasional typing of a woman named Jessica. Currently absorbed in her work, she doesn't notice the time until a notification appears in the corner of her computer screen. That's right, Lloyd should be up by now. Suffers to her daughter's bedroom in a small twin bed sits. Mouse on a sort of clothing and laptop plugged in to preserve a few dozen browser tabs, and somewhere, sleeping teenager all sprawled out on the cramped bed. Suddenly the room is flooded with light, causing the mass to explode in a series of tangled limbs and annoyed groans. Time for school, Lloyd. It was supposed to be a half an hour ago. Agree with a few incomprehensible words before Lloyd pulls the sheets over her head to block the light. Lloyd, serious. Don't get moving, you're gonna miss your train. Shudders at the nightmare that the commuter train tends to be at this hour. I've got a compliant, lethargic girl reluctantly slinks out of her refuge and into an unforgiving cold. She still has some fritters and dinners in the freezer if you want any. I'll be in the living room if you need anything. Other grunt of affirmation. Hey, Mum? Yes, dear? It's Monday, so we have scouts. You said you were coming to the next few meetings to help with the computers, right? Sun shock right through Jessica's body, like acid pouring through her veins. That's been visible to Lloyd, because her expression immediately turned sour. She said you were kind of calm. Talked about it weeks ago. Oh no, dear. Just slipped my mind is all. Jessica knows how important this meeting is to Lloyd, but she can feel her anxiety rising when she thinks about it. Usually Lloyd walks herself to meetings after school. Jessica has never been to the new meeting hall. Finding it is going to take a lot of energy. What train will she have to take? Time doesn't leave, or she gets on the wrong one, or misses her stop. And when she gets there, what is she going to say to the kids? What are they going to think of her? Someone like her wore a dress? Would any parent complain? Then there's the troop leader. Mum. Been daydreaming longer than she thought. Lloyd is getting frustrated. You coming? Of course. It's our daughter. He smiles slightly, but Jessica can't help but notice that it doesn't seem genuine. In the smile is a lot of doubt and a lot of pain. You sure you have everything you need? Jessica nods. Oh, you got a train to catch. Crap. I'll see you tonight. Make sure you're there by 7:30. You know, my other mom hates it when you're late. Another shiver. Jessica takes a deep breath. Has a bad feeling about this. Jessica dives back into her work. Well, she knows it's already time to get ready for her Lloyd's meeting. Better look up how to get there. Feels a wave of nausea come over her. She opens the train schedule on her phone. Nothing will take her directly there, so she had to take one train to a different station, run to catch the second one. Depending on what she chooses is either a 10-minute gap or an hour, and a 15-minute one. Looks at a few other options. One goes there for a pretty bad part of Chicago which she wants to avoid. Another adds at least an additional half an hour which she also wishes to avoid. Glances at the clock. 6:30. Only an hour left. Short route it is. Feels her anxiety get worse. Now to pick out what she wants to wear before she goes to catch the train. Normally when she is speaking in front of the group, she wears something nice. Perhaps a dress with a little extra makeup if she is feeling bold. But Lou's troop leader never approved of her transition. She doesn't now. She didn't when she was Jessica's wife. Thinks that perhaps she could dig out some of her old male clothes. But what does she even have anymore? It could also make it introducing herself hard. Does she call herself Lou's mom? Come across to when she introduces herself with her deep voice wearing a suit. 7. The electricity shoots through her. Gonna have to figure this out now. Ties the usual sweatpants and t-shirt good enough. Pulls back to her computer. It's a train and can't find any more that will get her there in time. Looks like the dress is 2 miles away. Perhaps she could sprint? Should be able to do 2 miles in half an hour. However long she has, time isn't now. Here's a phone vibrate in her pocket. But chill, Jessica realizes it's already a little past 7:30. Just have to leave now and hope I can figure it out on the way. I'm already late as it is. No matter how she wills herself to get up, she simply can't do it. Feels a familiar yet unexplainable lethargy come over her, bringing her to the chair. Just wants this meeting to end. Hasn't even started yet. She already just wants it to end. Tentatively, she glances down at her phone again. Eat. Isn't going to happen tonight. And if she left now, she wouldn't get there until after the meeting ended. I have to let her lead Lou to know not to expect her. Sorry, honey, got caught up in work again. Talk more about what you need from me when you get home. The response. Jessica sinks down into a chair, holding her head in her hands with her elbows on her desk. Asks herself how she let this happen. But deep down she knows. She's different. Things don't go away in these situations, especially ones involving meeting new people. What comes easy to everyone else, she manages to mess up. Mess up time and time again. The reason she can't go to Lou's meetings anymore. She can't embarrass herself like that. Can't embarrass her daughter like that. Jessica sits in deep contemplation until she hears the front door open and close. Hi, honey. Silence. A pang of guilt stabs Jessica's heart. Really should have gone. What Lloyd is asking of her doesn't seem like too much. None of the other parents struggle to make meetings like this, do they? You think working from home on a flexible schedule should make it easier for her. Yet, it's unbearable. Not because of the time commitment, but because it's just scary. Sorry, honey. It's been very stressful lately. Next week No. Don't give me that bullshit routine. It takes a step back in her daughter's tone. Excuse me? Every time this happens, you give some lame excuse. You promise that things are going to be different next time. Lloyd, No, stop acting like you care. Cared you would have been there tonight. Cared you would have been there every night. Don't love me. Just love having me around. Love me, make an actual effort, rather than sitting here lounging around the house all day. Tension in the air is palpable. Honey, just leave me alone. Jessica breaks into tears. Feels her heart can't hurt any deeper, till a text message comes in on her phone. Rose, her ex. Heart sinks even lower. I was allured. I know she left a little dejected tonight. You're upset with me right now, but we're working it out. Doesn't want to give Rove any ammunition that could be used against her. Will tell me about what happened? Sounds like she's really hurt. Because her heart starts to race even faster. Not what she needs right now. Like I said, we'll work it out. Think you might be underestimating how serious this is. Pause. Lloyd asked me about coming to live with me permanently today. Jessica drops her phone. There's more to the message, but she can't force herself to read it. Thinks back to Lloyd's statements about not believing he lost her. Is it really true? Brought out of her trance by the sound of her phone vibrating on the floor. Trying to help you. No, it's not what you want to hear right now, but it's the truth. Have to start figuring yourself out, or she's not going to want to be around you anymore. Jessica doesn't respond. Maybe you need to be professional about this. Been trying to get more involved for a long time, and you only seem to be getting more reclusive instead. Jessica still doesn't respond. On the other hand, I won't hesitate to apply for full custody if I start to believe we create a toxic environment for her. Jessica thinks for a long time before giving her response. Okay, I'll consider it. Thanks for the advice. I know you're trying. Jessica reads the message from her ex-wife a few times over. Wonders what exactly was said in the meeting, whether or not those were Lloyd's actual words or an exaggeration. Jessica heads to Lloyd's room, hoping to talk things over. May I come in? No. And let me say my piece and you can decide if you want to talk anymore. Your other mum told me about what you asked her tonight. In the end, it's entirely up to you. Just, well... Remember when you were little, when you were afraid of the dark? You used to sleep in your own bed and would come into our bed at the same time every night? Eventually, with enough effort and support, you made it through. But it took a while. It wasn't because you didn't care about sleeping on your own. It wasn't because it was scary and you weren't ready for it. It was a long process getting to where you are now, but you don't have any trouble anymore. That's why I'm not being honest with myself, or with you. Not going to get better next week. Might not even get better next year. But I'm ready to admit that there's something bigger than me. Willing to get whatever help it takes to get better. I promise you I'm trying. And I promise you I'm going to get better eventually. He pauses. Just need your help is all. I know that's a terrible thing for a parent to ask their child for. Slowly the bedroom door opens. So, what are you going to do? Yeah, best to talk to a professional on it. Lloyd nods. Maybe that will help. Hope it does. I don't know if it will, but I really hope it does. Sorry I said you didn't love me. No, you didn't need to apologize for anything. I've been a terrible mother to you. I'm going to make it up to you with this community award. I promise. A few days later, Jessica clings to her phone nervously. With every few steps, she quickly checks her phone to make sure she's still on the right path. Maybe they'll eventually take her to the office of one Dr. Omnia. Eventually, she arrives at her destination, tentatively entering the series of offices. However, there is no receptionist to be seen at the front desk. She panics. Must not have been the right place. Surely an office as busy as this would have a receptionist available at all times. Then the man leaves when one of the officers notices her. Can I help you? I'm sorry, I'm looking for Dr. Omnia's office? Do you know where it is? Man laughs to himself a bit. That would be me. Jessica is silent. Why don't you step in and I'll make sure you get the right paperwork. In fact, my previous appointment I had to cancel, so we can get started now if you'd like. Oh, okay. Jessica follows the man into his office. So, what brings you here today? My daughter wants me to get more involved with her life. Dr. Omnia pauses, waiting for the rest of the story. Is there something stopping you from doing so? Wants me to go out and do all these things, like attending scout meetings and going to events at her school. Glad she has so many interests, but I don't think I have the energy for it. Is this an everyday occurrence? Well, not exactly. She looks at the floor. How often do you have arguments with this then? Jessica takes a long time to respond. Last one was just yesterday. Sometimes it seems like we're arguing every day when she comes home. I deserve it though. I don't remember the last time I went out and actually got involved in her life. It was probably months ago by now. She expects Dr. Omnia to react to this, but he's surprisingly calm. And would you like to be involved with her life on a daily basis? At this, Jessica gains the confidence to look at him in the eyes again. Yes, absolutely. The troop is installing new computers in a library for a community project this weekend. We've already done the fundraiser, purchased the equipment, all of it on her own. The only thing she needs me for is to go and help set it up to the library standards. There was a meeting earlier this week where they planned everything out, but I missed it, staying home feeling sorry for myself. I think that's a bit of a harsh way to word it. However, I still have to make this one. Have to. Jessica pauses. I had to show her I really do care. Dr. Omnia goes to ask Jessica questions about her routine typically goes when she gets ready for these events. The feelings go through her head. What's taking up most of her time keeps her at home. He explains that one of the most important parts of tackling mental illnesses such as this is to learn the triggers. Once you learn your triggers, you can learn how to avoid them. If you're really successful, you can learn to overcome them. Encourages her to keep a nightly journal, mark it with how she felt overall during the day, and she can look back and see what commonalities are there. He takes particular interest to Jessica's fears about messing up in front of the others. Only does he think that others aren't going to care as much as she feels they will. Other things she's worried about are sometimes relatively minor. May need to address the feeling of needing to be on with everyone. Keeping an introspective eye on how your actions affect others is an important skill. It becomes problematic when it leads to social perfectionism. Jessica stares blankly back at the doctor. Let me be a bit more clear. Most of our lives, we're given some pretty harsh punishment for failure, especially for people who have a history at tough universities like yours. However, while perfectionism is good or programming, not a great way to approach your social life, let alone your life in general. Life isn't a graded assignment. Sometimes you just don't mesh well with someone else, and that's okay. Bell rings indicating that Dr. Omnia's next patient has arrived. We'll discuss this more in your future appointments, but I like the conversation we've had already. This week, I want you to focus on the feeling you have of avoiding failure. If you do feel you failed at something, be easy on yourself. What do I do about this weekend? Go in, whatever feels comfortable. Do your best. We'll talk about how it goes at your next meeting. It doesn't have to be a miracle. Only homework is to make sure you show up. But what if something goes wrong? What if something bad happens and I don't know how to fix it? And just admit you don't know. Do your best to find an answer as soon as you can. Now I really must get on to my next patient. Okay, understand. Jessica begins the journey home. contemplating everything they discussed in their long initial meeting. Nearly 3 million people worldwide live with anxiety. Rose was already at the library when Lloyd and Jessica arrive. Lloyd, Jacob, it's good to see you again. I'm going by Jessica now, remember? Rose frowns. Not going to make the other girls call you that, are you? Mostly, you're just going to confuse them. Jessica looks at the floor. It's already turning into everything she was afraid of. Yes, I think that's only fair. Most of the people here didn't even know me before my transition, so it's not like they already knew me as Jacob or anything. Rose opens her mouth to protest, but Lloyd butts in. Mom is fine. I already told her my other mum was going to come help us. Anything? Be more confused as she introduced herself as a guy. Besides, it's my project, and I say she's going by Jessica, so that's that. Rose isn't satisfied with the answer, but she doesn't argue with her daughter. Yeah, fuck you, Rose. They start mostly in silence. As other girls from Lloyd's troop start to trickle in, conversation and mood both start to pick up. Once a good number of people arrive, Lloyd addresses the group from the front of the room. Hi everyone, I'd like to thank you all for coming to help me out with my project. The company we ordered the computers from has already delivered the shipments to the library. Everything in the storage space down the hall. We'll be bringing the computers out one at a time and set one up at each station. At work she can see explain how everything should be put together and what gets plugged in where. Has some CDs she put together with an image of the OS, the software we were able to get licenses for. I can help out a little if you have any questions, but if you're really stuck, definitely go to my mum. She knows a bit more than I do. Anyone have any questions before we get started? Girl shakes her head. Right, well then follow me and I'll show you where the computers are being kept. One by one, computers are moved down the hall into their proper stations. Questions come quickly at first, as the helpers try to wrap their heads around the setup process. But as they get the hangs of things, the questions get more sparse. Still, with all the activity, Jessica starts to tire quickly. But as she is to help, she looks forward to the afternoon when she could go home and untense. You think you can lend me a hand over here? Jessica wanders over to her ex's computer, praying that this won't be as awkward as she fears it will be. The computer's turning on, but it isn't sending anything to the monitor. That's weird. Possible that it's a frayed HDMI cable that's no longer sending signals. She turns switching it out for another one, but nothing changes. Perhaps it's just a faulty monitor. Not like we got the chance to test each and every device before we got here. Truth is, she's not 100% sure what's going on. Mine's too blurry from the events of the day to think really hard about what it might be. Wonders what she should say to Rose. To be honest, I don't know what's going on, like the therapist said. Don't know what else is going on, but I can ask Lloyd for a second opinion, which is also a good way. I think we need to get a new monitor. This one's broken. Yeah, let's ask Lloyd for a second opinion. Lloyd, can you come here, sweetie? What's up? Having problems with this monitor. Placing all the other components results in the same thing, so it's definitely isolated to the monitor. I don't know, maybe faulty. Let me take a look. Makes up to examine it and notices something when she does. Oh, it's not plugged in. She plugs the monitor into the surge protector and it comes to life. Oh my, I'm sorry. What a silly mistake. Sorry too, should have caught that. Hey, no, don't apologize. Happens more than you think. That's why it's always good to have a second pair of eyes for things like this. That's what I'm saying, because sometimes it's better to have a second opinion before you start going fucking around with everything. Hey, can you help me for a sec? Jessica crouches down next to Lloyd at the computer she's working on. Yeah, it's working fine now, thanks. Rachel has a question for you when you get the chance. Most part, everything goes smoothly from there on out. No more surprises Jessica can't handle, and they ended up finishing the setup relatively on time. As they put on the finishing touches, the troop looks around at their handiwork. There's still a little maintenance to do, but Lloyd and I can take care of that on our own. Thank you for helping. I know it means a lot to you, Lloyd. Yes, we couldn't have done it without you. Jessica smiles. I wasn't sure how today was going to go, but now she's beaming with happiness. It feels good to play an active role in Lloyd's project like this. It feels good to just get out and work on something new for a change. In the future, she will still have her doubts when she needs to go out and do something, but learning what this feels like will be a major step towards her recovery. Time passes and progress is made on the project bit by bit. Most of Jessica's work from here is research she can do at home. When she is needed for an in-person meeting, her sessions with Dr. Omiya prepare her for most unexpected cases. Finally, the library computers are installed and functional. Jessica and Lloyd come to visit on the first day they're available to the public. It's so crowded they can't even get a seat. Seems like you really made a difference. I mean, I always wanted the computers here, but before I got my laptop, so it's not really a surprise it's popular. Jessica laughs. Lloyd stands in front of a large reception hall with a few other girls playing with the tips of their uniform shirts with her fingers. Jessica finds a seat in a reserved section in the front row. Lloyd smiles when she notices her. Lloyd signals for everyone's attention and the room goes quiet. I'd like to thank everyone for coming to this year's Community Award presentation. As she announces the names of the recent recipients, she gives a little bit of a background on each of the projects and the impact it has on the community. When Rose presents Lloyd with her badge, they share a long emotional hug. Now, who was cake and ice cream? Don't mind if I do. A cake congratulating the Community Award recipients is revealed. All attendees are invited to line up and grab some. After getting a slice, Lloyd finds a seat next to Jessica. Gives her a big hug before sitting down. Thank you for helping me. Don't mention it. Honestly, this is what I should be doing. I feel terrible that you were hurt by my burdens as much as you were. There's an awkward silence. I was afraid it was because you didn't love me anymore. Or she'd probably be happiest if I just left. Then you wouldn't have to take care of me anymore. For a moment, Jessica freezes. Then she finds her words. Lloyd, it's not true at all. It will never be true. Gives Lloyd a big hug. I just want you to know that I love you very, very much. And I always, always will. Lloyd tightens her grip. Love you too, Mum. I can't help but let a few tears fall. Things finally seem like they're starting to mend. Hey, when things die down from this community award stuff, I was wondering if we could visit some colleges. There's actually one right here in Chicago that I'm pretty interested in looking at. Jessica sighs, but she can't complain. Didn't just make a commitment to the project, she made a commitment to Lloyd. And that commitment is for life. Don't have to go overnight together if you don't want to, but I do want to stay in one of the dorms at some point if I can. I was just wondering if you could help me navigate the campus, and maybe with some of the interview stuff. Jessica smiles. Of course, honey. And she means it. Yes, she's nervous about venturing somewhere new, but she's more interested in seeing the places Lloyd is looking at for school. When are you thinking of going? I think we're lost. It's fine. Pretty sure the directions online said it was over this way. It doesn't sound very sure. Well, whatever. It's all we have to go on right now. Lloyd, gonna be late for your meeting. Lloyd turns to talk to her mum. I know this isn't ideal, but like I said, all we can really do is try our best to get there as soon as we can. And if we're late, oh well, it's not like they're gonna ban me from college or something. We'll just explain to Professor Gray that we got a bit turned around and hope that he understands. I'm sorry, you're right. Jessica takes a few leveling breaths to calm herself down. Anyway, the map says to take a left at the big brick building up there. Excuse me, man. Do you need any help? Oh, hey, you two. Yeah, do you know where the Pearson building is? I have a meeting scheduled with Professor Gray. Oh yes, Guy and I have our classes there all the time. So you're students here? Trying to apply for a degree in computer graphics. Ooh, fancy. I don't know how much about graphics, but if you have any questions about the college or the campus, feel free to ask us. Just start us for a second. If you go back to your dorm, that's fine. I'll catch up. No, I should be fine. Just as long as you're doing most of the talking. Okay, well, just let me know if you need a break. She looks back at Jessica and Lloyd. I didn't think we even introduced ourselves. Anyway, my name is Jide. This is my friend Skylar. Hey. Jessica and Skylar eyes meet. The moment there is a brief, unexplainable connection, as if their thoughts are on the same wavelength. And then it's gone. I'm Lloyd. Jessica, I'm Lloyd's mom. Oh, nice to meet you. Come on, I'll show you the way to Pearson. Trust me, don't want to be late on Professor Gray. As time goes on, Jessica becomes more involved with her daughter's life. Later in high school, Lloyd falls in love with soccer. Jessica goes to as many games as she can, rooting for her daughter from the stands. Eventually, she becomes a volunteer member of the team's AV crew, and her great involvement with Lloyd's new passion. Jessica remains peripherally involved with Lloyd's troop, unless she's needed that time. Mostly belongs to Rose. Still, the patching up that happened that day, the days to come allows her to go to meetings when she is needed, without panicking about who might be there. Occasionally, Jessica's old habits creep to the surface, and she misses on important events. But these instances become fewer and fewer. Through it all, she comes to realize that there is a depth to her daughter she had never truly known. And what appears to be typical teenage laziness is a strong sense of responsibility and leadership. It's slowly being brought out as she matures. Lloyd is a wonderful girl. Jessica feels lucky to have her. Thanks her for the wonderful memories, unconditional love, and most importantly, calling her to be more involved with her life. It's truly a wonderful life to be a part of. Oh, that was sweet. But yeah, we still got one more character to go through. And we saw this guy briefly during Will's one. He is a Chinese-American man in his mid-30s with a slightly portly build. Wears glasses with silverware frames and is always exceptionally well-dressed, favoring the three-piece suits in a neutral cool colours, very suitable to the season. Rarely smiles, but he has an open and curious look on his face. We'll do his main story. Lee enters his office at Agritech, his face tense and his movements jerky. In a state of clear distress, he seats himself at his desk and briefly covers his face with his hands, sighs before lowering them and rifling through some paperwork on his desk. A knock is heard at the door. Come in. Walter enters the room. Oh yeah, it was Walter, not William. I mean, it both starts with a W, so... Walter is an older African-American male with dark mahogany skin, very short, tightly curled grey hair. He is classically handsome and well-muscled, a result of his avid outdoor lifestyle. He is quiet and thoughtful, and listening more than he speaks, but when he speaks, he has plenty to say. Walter has been with Lee's company for a couple of years. The two have become close colleagues. Hey, boss. Lee smiles a little. How are you, Walter? Walter looks a little uncomfortable. Afraid I have some bad news. Lee, normally a fairly reserved person, is unable to start while growing as he leans back in his chair. Oh boy, what is it? Well, explains that one of the farms they work with, a large grain farm, suffered a loss in wheat production because of bad regional weather. Oil suspects that climate change is to blame, but there's little he can do about it besides help the farm implement a different crop management system. And the farm's owners are reasonably resistant to investing further with failure of the farm potentially looming on the horizon. Obviously, there's a long-time client. Well, they're a long-time client, and I'd like to help them out, so I'm wondering if maybe we could offer a reduced price on a better management system for them. Or even a loan to help them with the transition. Lee nods. I'll give it some thought. You on rounders today? Yeah. Heading out to the UP today to check on some of the orchards. I'll be back by the end of this week. Agrotech manages several orchards in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Walter has been the regular journeyman for visits almost since his arrival at the company. Lee smiles. People of the UP are going to trust him. He's made some friends in the townships. Lee knows Walter is doing a good job with his visiting duties. Despite his introversion, he feels a sudden surge of gratitude for his friend's dedication. Okay, travel safe. Walter smiles and makes his exit. Lee sits back in his chair. Shoulders are tense, his left leg bounces rapidly. Clear indicators of his anxiety. Sighs again, trying to dispel it. Grain Farm represents one of his largest accounts, and he has great concern for both the welfare of the owners and the workers who run it, as he does the money for Agrotech could lose if they go under, putting his own employees, as well as himself and his family, in jeopardy. Finally, he scoots up to his desk and opens his laptop. Says about examining the company accounts and spreadsheets. Being slightly less anxious after reviewing the company's financial health. Says about his daily tasks, but the worry does not totally leave his mind. Lee arrives home much later than usual. His wife gets up from the couch to greet him, and she smiles, though her face reflects worry. He kisses her and sets his briefcase down on the foyer table. Oh, right? I'm fine. Xiaoxing looks unconvinced. I'll put on some tea. Says about making a pot of tea. Lee helps her, and while he does, he watches his wife appreciatively. She is several months pregnant, barely just beginning to round with the baby. Smiles to himself. She is easily the most serene person Lee has ever met, one of the most capable. What are you smiling about? I'm just grateful for you, that's all. Xiaoxing sets the kettle down on the stove and turns to him. She hugs him, and he really wraps his arms around her. Tell me what is wrong. Lee sighs. I know that sigh. Lee explains to her the situation with the grain farm. She listens attentively. When he finishes, she takes his hand. I'm here for you, you know that. Lee nods. Did you review the accounts? I did. I think we may be alright, but you're not completely sure? Lee nods. She hugs him again. I'll do everything I can to help you through this. You have your own work to do. And it's so early in the pregnancy. Don't want you to wear yourself out. Xiaoxing gets a look of determination that he knows all too well. I do what I can. Don't you argue with me, Lee. Lee sighs and smiles a little. Just promise me you won't overwork yourself. Will it make you feel better if I promise? Lee nods. Then I promise. Come on, let's have a cuppa and watch something together. pair pass the evening with tea and conversations before heading to bed. Lee lays in bed while Xiao Xing reads beside him for a while. Xiao Xing looks over at him. Tomorrow's another day, love. I know you'll figure things out. And even if you don't, we'll figure it out together. Runs her hands affectionately through his hair and kisses him goodnight. Long after she has fallen asleep, Lee lies awake. His worries gallop through his head until exhaustion finally drives him into sleep. So important to be compassionate to anxiety sufferers. You don't know what a person is going through at any time. Be kind. Lee wakes up fairly early the next day. It's Saturday. His wife is still asleep. Being careful not to wake her, he gets up and makes his way to the kitchen to brew some coffee. Carrying his coffee into his home office, he starts to look over the company's accounts again. This won't work. Voice changes, clanks like a bell in his head. Lee closes his eyes and takes a deep breath, pressing his fingers to his forehead. This won't work. You're doing this all wrong. What are you thinking? Can't last. All come tumbling down, like stones in a landslide. Begins to panic, breath raising and falling rapidly. His throat grows dry and his body tenses. Lee opens his eyes open. His wife is standing there, dressed in a morning gown, braids twisted up on top of her head. Looks concerned. Gets to his feet and crosses to her, hugging her close. He hugs him back. You're so beautiful. Do you know that? Xiao Xing laughs happily at him. Good morning to you too. You alright? I'm not sure. Xiao Xing takes his hand. Come on, let's have some breakfast. We can talk about it. Lee casts a reluctant look at his laptop. We can work later. Says it calmly, but the edge of her voice tells him that he should listen to her, for no other reason to reassure her. Alright. They set about making breakfast in the kitchen together, and as they cook, they talk. What's the absolute worst that could happen? Company goes under and we're ruined. Xiao Xing looks at him skeptically. It's one of the things he appreciates most about her. She's sharp and she can see things what they are. What is realistically the worst thing that will happen? Lee thinks carefully for a moment. Granny Farm can't recover, will lose a fair amount of money, and may have to lay off some staff. Xiao Xing nods as she sits down at the table. How can you help the grain farm? Me? If you help them, they might be able to recover. Well, I suggested that very thing, but I hadn't really thought about it. Xiao Xing nods and then makes a face. What? Hate to suggest it, but maybe you should talk to your father. Lee scowls. His relationship with his father is strained. As the years have worn on, it is soured. Although his mother was kind and understanding, his father expected a great deal from him. Consistently drove him to achieve greater and greater results, both academically and professionally. Lee's mother was a very anxious person. Lee is of the opinion that he inherited his mother's nervous temperament, made it worse by his father's approach in raising him. He did not attend Lee and Chao's wedding, citing personal reasons. Although Lee knew perfectly well that was because Xiao Xing is of mixed heritage. Father didn't approve. He has softened somewhat towards Xiao Xing over the years, but he's never fully accepted her, and for that reason the couple rarely see him. Lee feels some guilt over this, but he also feels that his father brought this upon himself. Yeah, I don't think calling him is gonna bring any good of it. Much as our wife potentially wants us to have a relationship with him, yeah. Yeah, we'll call a staff meeting. That sounds a much better option. Don't want to call him. Think I'll set up a team meeting for Monday and discuss some options for the grain farm. Think that's a wise decision. Get all hands on deck. No reason you had to handle this alone. You all water. Lee nods. Gets to a few and kisses at the top of his head. I'm going out with Andy for a while, okay? Call me if you need anything. What trouble are you girls getting into today? Xiaoxing laughs. She is insisting on taking me for lunch and then for a little shopping. Andy is Xiaoxing's best friend. She visits them often. Lee has cultivated a friendship with Andy as well. She is a kind and generous person. He is grateful that his wife has such a staunch friend in her. Good. You have fun, sweetheart. Gets to his feet and kisses her. Don't work too hard. Lee smiles. I'll try not to. Goes about getting ready and Lee returns to his office, contemplating the spreadsheets for a moment before opening a new text file, beginning to tap rapidly away at his keyboard. It's Monday at the office. Walter has returned from his latest trip. He and Lee are in Walter's office chatting. Orcas are doing nicely, so no worries there. We'll have a bumper crop this year because there wasn't quite enough snow for it, but they'll have a plentiful harvest all the same. Fantastic. Got some ideas for the grain farm, but I'll sell them until the staff meeting. I have a few ideas too. Think we both take a look at it with fresh eyes, we can figure out a more effective system. Like to solve a alkaline entity, which will be hard to fix. But an immediate crop rotation might help, a better watering system. What's your opinion on their prognosis? Walter thinks for a minute. If they were given the right kind of system and maybe more time, I think they could recover. It'd be slow and we still won't receive the kind of return that we were anticipating, but go on. They've been an old client, done us a lot of good as a company, near as I can tell. Even if we don't get the same returns, it's worth it to at least think about helping them to preserve the relationship. And if they do recover, it could mean greater returns later. He nods. That makes sense to me. Let's go out and see it then. Walter smiles. I'll go call them right now. We'll write up a more express document recovering assistance options. Absolutely. Lee starts typing the document for the grain farm when his phone rings. Xiaoxing rarely picks it up. Are you alright? Xiaoxing laughs. I'm fine, sweetheart. Want to see how you're doing. Lee leans back in his chair, sighing a little. I'm doing alright. I just met with Walter. Going out to visit the grain farm. That's good. What are you planning to do? I'm thinking about working on some recovery options for them. Walter very correctly pointing out that if we help them out now, long run the return will be better. And it's the right thing to do, I think. It is. I was wondering though, when was the last time you saw Dr. Omnier? Dr. Omnier is Lee's therapist. Hasn't scheduled any appointments with him lately though, because he's been so busy at work. He sighs. It's been a while. Maybe you should schedule an appointment. It seemed to be helping. I know. I've just been so busy. Well, think of it like this. I had to make time to see my, whatever that is, to make sure I'm well. Same as I do, you had to make time for your health. All of it. I haven't thought about it like that before. I'm not going to say you have to. I just think it will help. Sure, we'll make an appointment. Even if it's just for a check-up, it's better than sitting and letting your mental health fester into something more dangerous. Okay, I'll call his office right now. Okay, I love you. See you tonight. I love you too. Hangs up and dials Dr. Omnia's office to schedule an appointment. Later that week, he finds himself in Dr. Omnia's office. Come in, Li Wei. It's good to see you again. Li Wei smiles in spite of himself. Catch me up. Li tells him everything that's happening at work, that he's been having anxiety attacks here and there because of the stress. Dr. Omnia goes over some management techniques with him and reminds him of the importance of not taking his work home with him. It's important that you remember to separate your time at home from your time at work. You deserve that. Allow yourself the space to breathe when you're not at work. Try to fully engage with what you're doing, spending time with your wife, activities you pursue, and so on. Practicing mindfulness will help. Do you think there's a difference between having anxiety and just being a warrior? I think the difference is that one has been diagnosed by mental health pressure and the other has not. Lee considers this, that you're here working to get better, and that's what matters. He smiles a little. I'm trying. I know you are. Shall we schedule another while you're here? Thinking you should come weekly, at least for a while. Lee nods. That's probably a good idea. Make another few appointments and the two shake hands. See you soon, Lee. Take care. Lee smiles. You too, Doctor. Lee and Walter travel together to the grain farm after Lee ensures that Xiao Xing will have someone to look in on her while he is gone. After taking a tour of the grain farm, Lee and Walter chat with the farm's owner to discuss recovery options. I say we help the grain farm because they obviously need it. Agritech would be happy to offer a loan towards reorganizing the farm's management practice. You can also lease any equipment your farm needs to get through this. We laid out a proposed plan of action to assist with the recovery. Do you want to take a look? Absolutely. We'd be grateful for any assistance you can offer us. You can help us turn this around. Walter smiles. Happy to help in any way we can. With the help of Dr. Omnia, Xiao Xing, and Walter, he is able to keep effectively managing his anxiety. The company assists the grain farm and, as Walter predicted, pulls through, resulting in renewed prosperity for Agritech. Shortly after their harvest is seen through, Xiao Xing gives birth to their son. Thank you for playing. Aww. And that's it. I know there's a couple of them that had slice of life stories, but I think that's a good place to end off. But yeah, this is very well written, and yeah, good look into at least a few people's lives who can be affected with different sorts of anxiety. Yeah, I myself, unfortunately, know very much what it's like, as about 4 or 5 years ago, I finally got professionally diagnosed with severe social anxiety, so yeah, having it fucking sucks balls, and it's not fun to deal with whatsoever, but eventually getting the help that you need and getting that good support system, fucking life changer, at least for me. I mean, like, recovery looks different for everybody. Like, for myself, I take medication, and I've had like the odd therapy, but I found that isn't really helpful for me. But for other people, therapy can be useful, and then there's like other different types of support you can do, like going to take a course. different courses and there's a bunch of other stuff, but yeah, best thing to do is go seek a professional on that, and yeah. And if you have like any concerns or anything about, because I know there's definitely stigma behind the whole therapy and the medication and all that shit, so best to go ask a professional about their opinion, and they can then probably explain it way better than I can about how it can help, how it can't help, and what the other concerns you may have. And yeah, but yeah, it's not gonna. Yeah, recovery, as they said in this game as well, was not easy. It can be very difficult, but as long as you're willing to put in that effort to get better, then yeah, obviously that's good. And yeah, obviously not every day is gonna be all sunshines and rainbows, but yeah, as long as you have good coping mechanisms put in place to help you get through those bad days, and potentially somebody you can rely on, whether that be like a friend or family member or even a professional, health professional, then yeah, it's always good to have somebody to rely on. But yeah, I'm just kind of spouting out nonsense, just rambling on, but anyway, yeah, that was Open Spaces, and yeah, hope you guys doing okay out there. Know that if you're struggling, yeah, you are certainly not alone in this. There's many of us out there, and there's somebody out there that wants you to get better, and even if that person ends up just being you, and there is support out there for people like us. Especially nowadays, now that the information about mental health has been drastically improved. But yeah, with that, I'll be ending off here, and yeah, make sure you guys stay safe, yeah?